A rather interesting compound. A lot of focus in the longevity sciences has gone on behind NAD plus metabolism. Now, who decides if the electrons are going to be transferred properly or not? That particular component or that deciding factor is your NAD plus. See, the longest clinical trials have been going around for, let's say, 2 years at a max. So at least taking NMN or NR for 2 years every day has not created any kind of side effects as such, right? Now, NAD plus has a similar kind of effect on your sirtuin ones as well. So when you're fasting and you're taking NMN, you're just doubling the effect of fasting on your body.
Hi, welcome to Decode Age podcast. In this podcast series, we are mostly going to talk about the products and services offered by Decode Age. Most frequently asked questions that are there regarding any supplement or any test will be answered during these sessions. So today we will start with NMN. Right, what is NMN, what is its biological function, how much to take it, and all of that. And for that, we have with us Darshit Patel, Chief Scientific Officer of Decode Age. So, hi Darshit, how are you?
Doing great, Mustafa. Tell me about yourself. How are you doing?
So, I'm also doing good. So, we are going to start with NMN today, right? And the first question regarding that I want to ask you is like NMN is NAD plus booster, right? So, what is NAD plus?
A rather interesting compound. A lot of focus in the longevity sciences has gone on behind NAD plus metabolism. Before we start understanding what is NMN, right, we need to know what is NAD plus metabolism. Why is it important for our body and why is it being discussed so much, at least in the aging sciences? So NAD plus metabolism, to state it in terms of the abbreviation, it is nicotinamide adenine dinucleotide. Now, it's an important enzyme, bioenzyme, that's present in every cell of our body. Now, cell has various organelles. One of them is very important, which is mitochondria, right? Now, mitochondria is important to cells because it is the only thing that is responsible in the entire cell to produce energy. And when we talk about energy, this is not the energy that you might be feeling all the time, but this energy is rather used by the cell to carry out other important processes. Every cell is destined to do certain things. If your brain cell is going to do something related to your brain activity, your heart cell is going to do something related to heart activity. And all cells have different energy requirements. And based on that, the cell decides how many number of mitochondria I should have. Now that is one aspect. But within the mitochondria, let's go a bit deeper about what happens in the mitochondria, right? So there's something we call the OXPHOS system. OXPHOS, all capital letters, OXPHOS system. OXPHOS system, what does it do? It continuously transfers electrons from one complex to other. Now it's a 5 complex chain, right? When we say that we breathe in oxygen, right? This oxygen goes through this electron transfer throughout this OXPHOS system, and at the end gives you energy in terms of ATP, right? But the other byproduct, which is also very important and sometimes very harmful to our own body, and these are free radicals. What happens is when I say electron transfer, the negative charge keeps on shifting from one complex to the other, and if it doesn't happen efficiently, it eventually becomes a free radical. We've all heard about inflammation being caused in the body at all the times, especially with aging. So this is caused by these free radicals that are produced by inefficient transfer of electrons. Now, who decides if the electrons are going to be transferred properly or not? That particular component or that deciding factor is your NAD plus. Now, when we write the plus after NAD, that's to show the positive charge. So it actually takes in the electron, becomes stable, and then loses the electron to become positive again. So when NAD plus is doing this electron transfer, it changes into different forms like NADH, which is with the hydrogen, and then it becomes NAD plus again by losing that hydrogen. So this entire process is OXPHOS system, and without NAD plus, this cannot function, right? And if the body needs so much NAD plus in each and every cell, naturally it has to produce it itself, right? NAD plus has to be produced itself into the body. This happens through two different pathways, which are very scientific. Let's not delve so deep into it. But these pathways are naturally designed in your body to produce NAD+. The problem with these natural pathways that makes NAD+ into our bodies is that as you age, these pathways become less and less efficient in producing NAD+. So there's a simple, as you age, first of all, the damage increases, and to deal with that damage, there is just not enough NAD+. So it's a demand and supply heuristic that happens there. So I use often example to describe this. Okay, let's say you visit a hotel, right? Now, first day you go there, there are 3 valets and there are 3 cars waiting outside the hotel. So each valet can pick up 1 car and move to the parking area. You visit next day. This time there are 4 cars, but there are only 2 valets. So still, it can be managed, but the time taken will be more. But let's say you go on day 3, there's only 1 valet and more than 5 cars. Now what happens? The cars start honking, right? Because they are not getting valets and they're getting impatient to get into the hotel. Something like this happens in our bodies as well. As we age, which is the day 1, day 2 and day 3, the amount of damage, which are the cars and the drivers waiting there, increases. But at the same time, the valets, which is our NAD+, which is used to deal with the damage, reduces. So the demand has increased and the supply has reduced. So this is the kind of dynamics that happen in NAD+, which is why our body keep losing NAD as we age. And it becomes then important to, supplement it from outside in one way or the other.
So I will just repeat what you just said, right? So NAD plus is involved in repair mechanisms, right? And it is also involved in energy metabolism. Like cells generate energy with the help of NAD+. Now, as you just said that with age, NAD+ declines. Can you please elaborate more on this, that what are the actual reasons why with age there is decline in the levels of NAD+?
Just like I said, the body has some potential to produce NAD+, right? What happens is the production doesn't reduce. The production is static throughout your life. It's just that the demand increases. The damage increases in your body as you age. So there's just not enough NAD to keep up with the damage that is being produced in your body.
Yeah, it got cleared to me now that with age, your damages are increasing and NAD plus is getting utilized to repair those damages. And that is the reason why you have then less NAD plus for generating energy. And that is the reason why with age, people feel less energetic, right? One of the reason might be that.
Of course, there is not a definitive pinpoint to it about it, but the natural understanding or the common logical understanding, even in the scientific community, is that as we age, the natural ways of increasing damage also increase. There are external factors, of course, involved like pollution and bad diets. So the repair is increasing, the energy is reducing, and both of that processes need NAD+. At some point, you will just have enough NAD, right? So your damage will also keep increasing and your energies will also keep falling down. So that is the proper definition of what aging is after all, right?
Okay, all right. So so NMN supplementation is required to maintain a good amount of NAD plus in your body. So the thing that I want to ask you next is that how much NMN is actually required? What is the dosage? And also one more thing that I want to ask you is, so are there any studies, animal studies, human studies, in which it is showed that after NMN supplementation, the levels of NAD plus has actually increased?
Of course. So to address your first question, first of all, NAD plus supplementation, is it required or not, right? Yes, I would say it is required. That would be the smallest answer I could give about, supplementing your body with NAD plus, right? So if I have to talk about studies that shows if NAD plus supplementation can actually help with NAD plus production, there are studies right from the animal models till human studies where they have seen that using different precursors for NAD plus like nicotinamide riboside or nicotinamide mononucleotide, something we call NR and NMN, and even niacin. When studies have shown that these are able to increase NAD plus in the bodies of even animals and even humans, so there are existing studies for that. And the therapeutic potential that it can cause after that has also been often demonstrated in different studies. Now, talking about dosages, right? So the idea is that any supplementation you start, be it NAD plus or be it any other, the idea is to always take it in a stepwise way. Because, if let's say you have not taken NAD plus supplementation in your life ever, and suddenly you start giving your body 1 gram of NMN or NR and try to increase your NAD plus, that's not going to always work out well in your favor, because it can cause side effects like some kind of headache or nausea or some or the other. Not a major side effect, but still something which will discomfort you. So the idea is to always start with lower dosages. You start with 200 mg, see how well your body is tolerating it over 1 month. You then increase it to, let's say, 500 mg, and then you slowly, in the span of 4, 5, 6 months, you can slowly go to 1000 mg. And if you're getting great results in 500 mg, why then give your body extra? That is the idea behind supplementation of NAD plus.
So should one take NMN regularly, or should one take it in cycles? For example, if one takes it for 6 months and then stops and then again continues it. So how to do it? I mean,
see, the longest clinical trials have been going around for, let's say, 2 years at a max. So at least taking NMN or NR for 2 years every day has not created any kind of side effects as such, right? So at least till 2 years you can go, but then it's always suggested for any supplementation, you do a span, then you break it off for a month, and then you start on it again. You do again a phase, and then you break it off again for a month or two, and then you start at it again. That's the always suggested way to do it. But yes, of course, if you're taking it for 2 years every day also, it's not going to create any problems for your body.
yeah, I'm also taking NMN from past 6 months, 500 mg, and I'm feeling all right. I mean, good.
Yeah, a couple of months is absolutely fine. In fact, it is suggested that you should take it at least for 6 to 8 months at a stretch every day without failing to get the best result out of it. So that should be the ideal way to do it. But after 8 months, if you feel like that I want to take a 15-20 day break, it's always suggested.
Do you take?
Yes, of course, I do take NMN. And what I did with myself was also the same. I started with literally 100 mg, and slowly today I'm taking around 500 mg every day. And personally, I have not taken a break since the last year.
When we talk about NAD plus boosters, now there are other NAD plus boosters like niacin and NR. And the thing that I want to ask you now is that between NR, NMN and niacin, which can be the best supplement to boost NAD plus?
To say it scientifically that which is the best in any of these cases would not be correct on my side or would not be ethical. See, each and every compound serves its purpose. NR, NMN and niacin all have shown to increase your NAD levels, right? But it's just that NMN has a higher potential. So our choice for keeping NMN as the booster, as NAD plus booster, it's because it's the nearest in that pathway to NAD plus. So there's an instant conversion to NAD plus. If I take niacin, I might not get the same result as NMN, or I might have to increase my dosage multiple times to reach the potency that NMN has. So that has been the case for choosing NMN for us. But yes, both NR and NMN have been important components, and they have done quite well in the studies as well in terms of increasing NAD plus.
The next question that I'm going to ask you is about David Sinclair. Now, as you know, if you are considering NMN, then David Sinclair is like an advocate for NMN. So what do you think about David Sinclair and the research done by him?
But yes, I do agree that someone like Dr. Sinclair has put in a lot of work to, to take aging and longevity sciences where is it today and globally. And Dr. Sinclair's work has been truly commendable. Although his main research focus, if you see, really is epigenetics and other aspects of aging. Of course, he has been involved with a few companies and, a few research groups which are working on NMN and NAD+. And he has been quite a vocal advocate of why NMN is one of the best candidates for NAD+ metabolism. Of course, to follow his work and go through each and every paper, One has to do the hard work to understand that. But I truly understand why he is such a good advocate of NMN, because he has been involved with the groups that studied how NMN is being taken into the cell. And he is also involved with a company which is into beta NMN, research. So of course he is a vocal advocate. He has often come out saying that he is being taking 1000 mg of NMN. But in some of his videos, you would actually see him telling that how stepwise dosage was used to achieve that 1000 mg daily. Because oftentimes I think we ourselves in Decode Age get many queries that David Sinclair has been taking 1000 mg. Why are you suggesting us to take 250 mg? But oftentimes when you're looking at videos, you miss out on the context of why is something being said, even by someone like Dr. Sinclair. And that context is often missing. So if you check out in detail what he has done about NMN and what he has spoken about NMN, he has always said that go stepwise, increase your dosage slightly, and then bring it to your actual regimen. So yes, definitely you will always see David Sinclair talking about NMN because of the work he has done, of course. And it's truly commendable, honestly, what he has done. I don't have many comments because his work is quite complex to be understood in itself.
One more thing that a couple of months back, I read the article that NMN is now banned by FDA in US, and at that time I was taking NMN, and I was quite worried, like what happened? Then I went and read the complete article, and then I understood, okay, so this is how it is. So can you please explain this ban of NMN in US so the people who are on NMN supplementation can get some better idea about it?
Of course, that's the role of media, It will always show you the tagline and it will never give you the context. Something about context I spoke about earlier as well. You will see videos of Dr. Sinclair rotating around all over the world saying, I take 1000 mg, 1000 mg, 1000 mg. But the important video which says about stepwise dosage will often not circulate around the media easily. And something like this happened, of course, with, the NMN ban and all these. So, of course, the word ban and the word NMN together might have scared a lot of people. And it indeed did. I would not, back away from that. But the reasons were entirely different. It was not about safety. It was not about efficacy that FDA was really worried about. It was something more about legalities of the compound that was worrying the FDA. Because you see, one of the companies, I'd not name the company. You can probably take a look on that on internet. So one of the companies, they developed beta nicotinamide mononucleotide or beta NMN, and they filed for a clinical research on disease, right? Now, when something like this happens, FDA usually puts that compound into a different category because now it is being used as a therapeutic research on a particular disease or a particular disease marker. So now it strictly comes under the rules of drugs, right? It's not the safety that was bothering them. It is not the efficacy that was bothering them. What was bothering them was that if it is being planned for a drug in a disease, then it cannot be a supplement at the same time. And that has been the issue of ban. So there's an act that was passed in 1994 in US which says that Dietary Supplement and Health Education Act. According to that act, once a drug is being filed for a disease research or a clinical trial on a disease, it's not often considered as a supplement at the same time. This was the reason that it was being banned. And a lot of people who work on NMN or who manufacture or consume NMN together wrote a petition also to the FDA. But then FDA had to put this act up in front of them to really tell them why it was being done. But that is again particular to the US land law of the land, and rest of the world is still doing NMN with the same kind of safety and efficacy. So there's not a problem out there. We are doing it in India, of course, yes.
All right. So another interesting question that I had about NMN is that, lots of people take NMN during fasting. And there is this interesting science behind it that, fasting activates sirtuin genes, and NMN also is a coenzyme for sirtuins. And so can you please elaborate more on this?
Right. So fasting is very interesting. I personally find fasting very fascinating, and I find it that it has been one of the most regular parts of human evolutionary history. Back then when you had to hunt for your food, right? And you did not get your food every day like we get it on our tables today. 3 times a day you would just get your food on your table. This was not something that happened back then. So people used to really look for food. People used to did not have food, so pretty much they were fasting until they got a hunt and they got the animal down or whatever, a good fruit or whatever they got. So fasting has been quite intricate in the evolutionary history. How human bodies have adapted to that. So whenever you fast, your body thinks that your body is in survival mode, because it's just that you're not getting everything just for granted. You have to work for it. That's the meaning of fasting to your biological processes. It will go into a survival mode, a defensive mode, and then it will start doing everything it needs to make you survive, which is why fasting has been very important for longevity as well, because it makes you survive. It starts off important mechanisms in your body that is meant to make you survive in the toughest of the conditions, and that's where sirtuin ones are also involved. These are very closely related to the survival circuits. Now NAD plus has a similar kind of effect on your sirtuin ones as well. So when you're fasting and you're taking NMN, you're just doubling the effect of fasting on your body. So that is why it has really helped. We have got ourselves many case studies where people who are fasting, many Indians fast for a longer period of time, certain religious groups and all, and when they took NMN, they really saw an exaggerated difference in terms of their energy while they were fasting without NMN and when they started fasting with NMN. So obviously both of them are working on a specific circuit in your body, which is a longevity circuit or a sirtuin 1 circuit, and that circuit just kind of gets activated and doubles down on its power when you're doing both together. So that might be one of the most educated guess to why fasting and NMN has been working so fine together.
So I'll just repeat what you just said. Okay, so yeah, fasting activates sirtuin genes, and sirtuin genes are involved in DNA repair mechanisms and everything. So activation of sirtuin genes is good for your health. It is good for your longevity. Now, when you are fasting, if you take NMN, then it will produce NAD plus, and NAD plus is an important coenzyme for the activity of sirtuins. So in the presence of NAD plus, sirtuin genes, sirtuin proteins will do a better performance, right? So it is again good for your cellular health. And another thing that can happen is that during fasting you feel less energetic, right? And if you take NMN, then again NAD plus, good energy, good cellular metabolism, good cellular respiration and everything. So you will have a good energy and you will also activate sirtuin genes. So these two are like the benefits of taking NMN during fasting. So yeah, that's all, Darshit. That's all questions I had. Thank you very much for your time. Looking forward to another podcast with you about another supplement.
Thank you so much today. I think this would clear most of the doubts that people have around it. And obviously, even if they don't clear, even if they have questions that are not cleared, they can always reach out to us and we'll be always there to answer, right?
So whatever questions you have regarding tests or supplements that are provided by Decode Age or any other thing related to healthy aging and longevity, you just comment in the section or you can just mail us and we will address those questions in the next podcast. So yeah, see you next time.